Excellent, excellent. Yeah, you never forget that moment where you're like, I could do. Why not me? I could do that, or I want to be like them.
Drew, I bet you could say that the starting line was your starting line.
I wasn't gonna do it.
Can you cut that?
Yeah. No, no, it's staying in.
But the band dad doesn't like a little dad joke? Come on.
Where's my drumsticks? Welcome to Room 6, the channel dedicated to local music wherever it may be found and the people that make it, including my guests. And my guests today are an electronic pop punk band out of Raleigh, North Carolina. They're, in their own words, the brainchild of a bedroom pop artist and an ex-scene kid. Their single, Bittersweet, is out now. And stick around, we're going to be seeing a music video for Stupid in Love. Please welcome to the channel, ColorMeKrazy. Say hi, guys.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hi. Welcome to the party. So right off the bat, why the name? And specifically, why the name the way it's written?
Take it away, Tom.
Oh.
Essentially, there's a lot of different ColorMeKrazys out there. There was another music artist that had ColorMeKrazy. There's plenty of hair salons, paint shops, things like that. So this was one that wasn't taken. Yeah, has a nice ring to it.
All right. I didn't know if there was more to it, but yeah, looking up ColorMeKrazy without the exclamation point is definitely a lot of hair salons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like there's more than one curl up and dye, DYE. But yes, but no one's like the original in Las Vegas. Shout out to Davio. Anyway, am I correct that there's been a couple different drummers in the band, and currently you don't have one? Is that right?
Yeah, there was one drummer at the beginning, one dedicated drummer, and now we're kind of like rolling with a couple of temporary drummers that, kind of like
stable.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's what I was kind of seeing. I know that the Zip was like the early days. So from there, if you want to be like ColorMeKrazy and be featured on the channel, whether reviewed, interviewed, or both, hit me up using my email address down below or by clicking the Room 6 social media link. That's where you'll find all the ways you can support the channel, should you so desire, like picking up some sweet merch at room6.shop, what else I'm up to online, and more. And while you're down there, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I know that about 80% of everybody watching this video is not subscribed. It really, really, really does make a difference. And you can just not ring the bell. Choose none for the notifications. I'll understand. Just give me that sweet, sweet subscription. Anyway, I appreciate all of you. So thanks for watching. And yeah, here we go. Back to you guys. That's enough YouTube crap. Any plans to come up to the Pacific Northwest where I am?
That's a Drew question.
That's the dream. We got to work our way up and down the East Coast for at least a year or two probably before we can start heading out west. It's just not financially feasible in our current state to get all the way out there.
Yeah, I get that. Just if you play Portland, Oregon, or Vancouver, Washington, let me know because I will be at the show.
Absolutely will.
I'll do my best, anyway. So from there, OG Room Sixers know what's coming next. I want to start off with kind of my usual interview question. I want to talk about your earliest musical influence, and by that I mean, do you remember a moment where you said, "I want to do that"?
Oh yeah, I was watching American Idol when I was like 6.
Nice.
And I saw Kelly Clarkson and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do that. And my mom was like, well, your grandfather did that. Maybe you could. And so then I was like, sure. And I hung on to that for like the last 20 years.
So for me, I was always raised around music. I grew up with a recording studio and practice space in my basement in my parents' house. But what really solidified it for me was a trip to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, specifically the Ramones exhibition. I just thought it was so cool because, like, I'm from the boy band era, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, but seeing the Ramones with their matching like leather jackets and just, kind of like a fucked up version of the Backstreet Boys or something, like it intrigued me at 10, 11 years old. And that kind of made me delve in more.
I never would have thought that the Backstreet Boys were a gateway to the Ramones.
You know, here first.
In general, like the marketing appeal, I'll say, as far as like matching outfits, kind of having this whole story behind them, even if the Ramones' whole story is we sniff glue and we're fucked up. Like, yeah, you know, it piqued my interest at 11.
Nice. Next.
For me, I was a little later in life than these two. I was a teenager, but for me, it was getting introduced to all the drive-through records bands of the early 2000s. Specifically, the Starting Line is what started it for me, and then learning all about Census Fail and Alistair and the Early November, and I could go on and on. That entire roster is what made me realize I want to be up on stage doing what those guys are doing. It looks like they're having a great time.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, you never forget that moment where you're like, I could do. Why not me? I could do that, or you know, I want to be like them.
Drew, I bet you could say that the Starting Line was your starting line.
I wasn't going to do it.
Can you cut that?
Yeah. No, it's staying in.
But the band dad doesn't like a little dad joke? Come on.
Where's my drumsticks? All right. Good night, folks. So, from there. Now, you guys haven't been ColorMeKrazy for too long, right? When did the band start?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So, I mean, you've got some shows under your belt, though, performing.
Yeah, for sure.
That leads me to my next question. And I want to know, what is, like, your most memorable show moment performing as ColorMeKrazy? And it could be where things went way off the rails, or you checked off a bunch of rock star wish list stuff, or, you know, somebody ended up in jail, whatever. What do you got that's your, you know, this one-time story for being in this band?
So mine is kind of like a recent thing, but I think for me, for a long time, you know what I'm going to say? We played this show in Raleigh this past fall, and it was all local bands, all local talent. And we really like pushed hard on the marketing, and we had some TikToks do really, really well. And it ended up being that night, as soon as I walked in, Drew tells me the show is sold out. And I was like, holy cow, because, you know, local shows don't usually sell out like that, you know, and we had some like pretty killer bands on the bill, like American Theory and Found It, and some other guys that we knew would, like, you know, pull their weight in that direction. But just the fact that we were all able to like get together and sell out a show was mind blowing for me, especially considering how many people said that they came from like TikTok and like our other social medias that we've been working so hard on for the last 2 years. I'm editing those videos every day, I promise. So yeah, it was really memorable, and everybody with their phone lights out, and the pictures that we took of that moment were just like gorgeous. I'll never forget it.
Next batter up.
Oh no, my answer is the same exact one. That was such a cool show. It was such a cool thing. Meeting all the people from the internet, like, it makes it feel that much more real, because you can spend all day scrolling on the phone and trying to get your message out to people. And yeah, sometimes you kind of see the fruits of your labors when it's just on the phone, but going out and seeing these people are not only real, but really believe in what you're doing. I can't think of anything better.
That is the dream.
My answer was going to be the same, but I'll come up with a second one just so we don't all say the same thing.
Yay!
The first time that we played out of state, it was late 2024. We had just put out our first EP, and we booked a small weekender where we did Raleigh, Richmond, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. That was our first time leaving the state of North Carolina, and just, you know, not a ton of people showed up at those shows out of state, but there were at least a couple people that had somehow heard of us through that first less than a year of us doing things that showed up to see us. And that was really cool. I had never really experienced that before outside of like hometown and very close to where you are. But going that far away and having people show up was really awesome.
And they made their own t-shirts. They made their own merch.
Nice.
Yeah, you say they weren't well attended, but DC kind of popped off. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's true. I'm just saying they weren't sold out, but there were some people there. It was good.
Nice. That's commitment. And a lot of times, if you want to actually make money make a profit, you have to like play out of town because your local scene, people are like, well, we can see you whenever, you know. But the people, you know, that if they came to see you when you're on a mini tour or whatever, they are here to see you, and those shows can really go off.
Yeah, for sure.
All righty. So stick around. We're going to be seeing the music video for Stupid in Love. And before that, I wanted to ask Tom a question.
Yeah.
Any plans for an XQC collab coming soon?
Right, here we go.
This all the time.
For those of you that don't know, XQC is a Canadian doppelganger of Tom.
I can't believe you know that. Oh.
If it's on the internet, man.
I don't know which one of us is older either, so I can't say who's the doppelganger of who.
I think he's older than you. I think he.
I'm the imposter.
Hey, everybody!
Womp womp. So from there, seriously, Drew, can you compare and contrast like the songwriting or just the overall experience between Reader's Digest and ColorMeKrazy?
You did your research, huh?
That's my job.
So it is extremely different. So my other band, Reader's Digest, our lead singer Nick, every song pretty much starts from him. He's our vocalist. He kind of comes up with the basics of every song and he'll bring it to the room, and then we write in person, which is the biggest difference. We are in person in the same room, structuring the song, putting it together. With ColorMeKrazy, it is completely different. I don't think, where I know, we have never written a song in the same room. We've written like some bits and pieces but they have not become songs yet. Everything we do is completely remote in ColorMeKrazy, and it generally starts on Tom's desk, or a couple of start on my desks or Mia's desk or whatever, and then we pass it around and everybody adds their own little pieces to it, but completely remote. That's the two big differences.
Interesting. It doesn't sound like that. So you guys do a really good job of like honing in on the vibe that so-and-so had when they recorded their part. That's really cool.
I think it's because me and Tom are chronically online.
Chronically online and in front of the recording software. We probably have 50 bits and pieces of songs / fully complete songs that just need lyrics or the right place on a release or something like that, you know?
Yeah, that's one thing that quarantine did, was got a lot of musical acts to figure out how to do that and make music and make a living sometimes without even playing shows or, getting in the same room together, unless it's like to rehearse for a show. So good on you. That's really awesome.
Yeah,
Mia.
That too.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. I'm just tacking on here. Before even quarantine or anything like that, I was simply trying to start a band in a studio for like 10 years. So we have songs now that we'll talk about our next upcoming release later, I'm sure. But we have songs on there that I wrote when I was 19. I'm 31 now. So yeah, having all that backlog, just cut all this. I'm fucking rambling.
Nope, stays in. It's all good.
I had a point, and then it just goodbye.
Come on, man, string it out. Let's go.
I don't remember what I was getting at.
It's all good. Speaking of songwriting, Mia, any changes in the way that you've gone about songwriting from solo to Bittersweet?
Yeah. So, was that a deep cut reference, or was that just?
Maybe.
Oh my God, he actually looked at my old stuff. Yeah. So I would say that solo. Geez, I can't believe I'm talking about this. That was my first foray into producing a song. Okay, that was the first time I'd ever tried to produce my own song, and it came after a band that I was in college kind of falling apart. And so after that happened, I felt a little bit I would say burned from the experience. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this myself. And so I started like looking
Nice.
at YouTube tutorials. I bought myself FL Studio, and I just started like making things that sounded like things I had already heard, you know, just like trying to mimic what like other people were doing. And that's like a lot of like the solo stuff that you can find out there is what that was. It was just me trying to do something. I think the way that I do things for Color Me Crazy is after kind of like Tom, a very like long period of me sort of like working in isolation to figure out, okay, I can mimic all these other sounds, but how do I make a sound that sounds like me? Like, what do I like? And what I came to, and this is what I've kind of injected into Color Me Crazy, and Tom calls it like the Mia Sparkle, is that I love cute things and sparkly noises. And so those are all the noises that I try to inject into Color Me Crazy. And even when I'm like sort of writing like these more like deeper lyrics, which I've always been kind of dark lyrically, I think, I still want there to be like that little jangly sound that captures your attention going on in the background or makes you think like, oh, that's so pretty, you know, just like in the midst of all these distorted guitars and like harsh sounding things.
Yeah, I really like instrumentation layering, and it's I really when listening to some of your music for Color Me Crazy was like I see what you did there. You know, it's like there an effort was made to not just here's the song, but here's the sparkle, here's the the sprinkles on top, if you will. So good job. From there, what how do I want to say this? What is, if you could change one thing about the last couple of years, okay, what would it be? And you don't have to name names if you don't want to name names.
Oh, damn.
Are we talking like omnipotent power? I can change anything?
Sort of like we all have, being a musician and a songwriter, for those of you that don't know, is just a mess. You're dealing with imposter syndrome and dealing with other people and their hang-ups, their issues, and their schedules, and their lives and everything. And the fact that any group of people can get together without physically living in the same place is amazing. But we also have those times where we're like, yeah, if I had thought about it, or if I knew now what I know then, or a missed opportunity for the act to possibly blow up, or go somewhere bigger. I was wondering, is there something that you look back on and you're like, in hindsight, blah blah blah?
I'm about to sound real cliche, but I am very thankful for the lessons that I learned via those times where I maybe wish I could go back and change the past. So like, not really. I love the process. Excellent.
Anybody else? It doesn't even have to. It doesn't have to be something you necessarily did or didn't do. Just the way things, shook out.
For me, I'm kind of like Tom. I wouldn't actually change anything from the past 2 years since we got together and started doing things. For me, I would go a little bit further back in time, and make a much more concerted effort to get deeper ingrained into the local music community in North Carolina. I didn't really start that until the last like 2 or 3 years. And now that I'm getting more and more ingrained to it and I know more and more people, things become much easier with booking and all this other kind of stuff. So if I'd started that 5-10 years ago, then things would have been so much easier at the beginning of Color Me Crazy. Whereas now it's just kind of starting to get a little easier for me now.
Yeah, it's that dichotomy of I want to make memories and I want to build track. I want stuff to happen, but not doing things is like crack. I mean, is there any better feeling than canceling plans?
I mean, yeah, I was going to say kind of the same as Drew almost. Well, it's kind of a mixture of Tom and Drew, where it's like, I wouldn't change anything necessarily, but I think we've seen the most growth that we've ever seen this year since I've started like posting consistently every single day. So I wish I had been more consistent on our first year of like posting content and doing stuff like that, because I think like we've basically just learned by failing a whole bunch of times, and now that we are kind of like finding something that kind of works, it would have been nice to have that, especially since I still think some of those songs on that first EP deserve their flowers, but they will probably get them one day.
Hey, you know, artists do it all the time. They reimagine songs that the fans will be like, hey, I remember this, you know, and make new fans while you're at it. So yeah, awesome. A couple more questions, and then we're going to see that music video for "Stupid in Love." First, I want to say nobody here is a parent, are they?
No.
Nobody? Oh, no kids? Okay.
No.
If you had a kid, knowing what you know about your local music scene, would you encourage them to be part of it, or would you like say, wait, just wait till you're older, or something like that?
I'd put a drum set in front of them immediately, and they'd be set for life, because there's a shortage of drummers around here, and if you're good, you got a
That's
job.
the one. That's the one.
Yeah, new musicians out there, you will never lack for a gig if you are a drummer and you have transportation and a place to rehearse.
And you could play to a click.
Yeah.
Oh my
Now,
God.
that being said, though, bassists always have work. It seems like
If they're really good.
if they're really good, yes.
Yeah.
So, anybody else?
I wouldn't necessarily let them start when they're a teenager. I mean,
Consider how things
but
are.
I would have to supervise like pretty hard, because I will say there are really great people in the music scene, but there are also some real weird,
People
and
know
I
people.
would want to protect them from that for sure.
Yeah. Now, when I grew up, 7 years old, started taking piano lessons. I didn't really have a choice. And actual like playing other instruments and rocking out and being a musician like that, and being a songwriter, that didn't happen until I went away to college. And there was a girl and blah blah blah. So I have an 18-year-old as of what's the date today? 4 days ago, at time of recording, I have an 18-year-old, got accepted to college. We're excited. I did the same thing. 7 years old. Let's get you in piano and voice lessons and see what happens, because she loves making music. She loves dancing around. We did dance. We did all, but she hates lessons. She hates, like, it's ruining it now, you know. And there's the part of me that it's that old. Well, I'm 53, and there's that part of me, just like the generation before me, that's like, well, in my day, and you don't know how lucky you have it. Yeah, that's a good thing. It's a good thing that, you know, I'm not forcing my kid to do that. But I asked this question of another act, and he was I think he had 2 kids, and they're both like playing at least one instrument of their own volition. And the way he did it was he just took an acoustic guitar and put it in their room and waited. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? You just, hey, here, have fun, and like wait and see if they want to get better or not, or see if they want to do anything with it. And yeah, I kind of kicked myself, because now, you know, it's one of those, you're so good. Anyway, but I digress. Everybody answer that question, I think, that weird question.
Maybe Tom.
Everybody who has an answer. I didn't, but I don't have an answer really.
All right. The reason I ask it also is that if somebody has a parent, I say, what do they think about dad or mom trying to hold on to their youth? Oh man. All right. So last question. You made it. Yay. And we're going to circle back. We're going to hop in our time machine and circle back to that earliest musical influence question. Okay. And also kind of tying in with the if you had a kid question. What is one thing you wish you could go back and tell yourself, hey kid, you're going to need to know this before you start going down this twisted road that is performing and writing music? And don't say change your strengths.
I'm going to say do everything that you do with conviction and do not get caught up in imitation. I spent a lot of years of my life in pop punk bands because that's what was easy to play and that's what was like kind of mindless, and we wanted to sound like Blink 182, like Man Overboard, like whoever else. And yeah, that's just kind of a waste of time because at best you're going to sound like a shitty version of one of those bands. So yeah, if I could go back in time, I'd tell myself to branch out sooner. I was certainly of the influence that anything outside of like honest to God guitar, drums, bass, vocals, music was kind of not worth exploring. And I stayed that narrow minded for up until my early 20s when I started to dive in a little bit onto like drum and bass and other electronic genres like that. I'd tell myself to open up earlier.
For me, I would explain the difference in a hobby effort and a truly committed effort. Like, you know, knowing that you like have that in your mind, like, oh, I want to be a rock star, I want to do this thing, and understanding how much work you actually have to put into it. It took me until not that long ago to figure out like this is what you actually have to do if you want to do it. It's not just going to happen if you put in a hobby effort. You got to put in a real effort.
For me, I would say believe in yourself more. Because I think imposter syndrome is the one thing that like held me back from like doing all of this for so very long. Because I just, even though like, you know, when I was growing up and all of that, like I was always in like the top choirs and I was getting solos in choir and like, you know, I knew that I sang well, but I just didn't feel like I was like good enough. You know, I felt like I had to be the best or it wasn't going to work out. But I think like if you look at like most of the people that have become like famous singers or like what have you, none of them are really like any better than each other. They're just different. And I think like being the best you is what gets you there, not being better than someone else.
So you're saying that you needed to be the very best, like no one has before?
Well, I didn't necessarily think that. I just thought if I wasn't as good as someone else, then it's like, oh, well, then I'm never going to get there. You know, it's kind of like a humor mindset.
I had to slip in the Pokemon reference. I had to.
Okay.
All right. Well, I couldn't say it any better. Thank you very much for being on the channel, and thank you for watching. Stick around for that music video for Stupid in Love, and make sure you hit those social media links down below to find out what else ColorMeKrazy is up to, and hopefully you'll go see him live and you'll tell him Room 6 sent you. In the meantime, we're going to temporarily say goodbye, and we'll see you in a minute.
Many people wouldn't tempt you right now. These expectations are just bringing me down, down. How can you talk for hours and
Is it gonna be real sweet?
That's crazy putting
This is probably gonna be the worst thing you ever tasted.
It's not gonna have. It's just gonna be whiskey with a little bit of sugar.
I want to thank ColorMeKrazy for coming on the channel. It was a great interview and an awesome music video. If you want to know more about them, hit up those social media links down below. Tell them Room 6 sent you. In the meantime, if you want to see more videos like this, please click up here. If you want to subscribe, click over there. Don't forget to ring the bell. And if you want to hear my own music, click over there. Remember to be amazing, and we'll see you next time on Room 6. Say goodbye, guys.
Later, y'all.
Bye.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.